Yeah, yeah, no, that's totally what it is. So besides Lecrae, what's another artist that you love listening to?
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at artist names. I've just now solidified the names from the 90s bands I really loved.
I love it.
But there's a song, I was like, where's my phone? I'm on it. So that's why.
That's okay.
There's the song, and maybe you know it. It's like, I love God. But you don't love God?
Oh, that's Mary Mary. Or
yeah, there's a lot of
Erica Campbell. I think it's just Erica Campbell by herself. But yeah.
I love that.
You like that song.
That's my jam.
You know what? I believe that you.
I'm cracking out. Even if it comes on, like sometimes they play music before church, and if that comes on, I'm like, it's time to get down and jam.
That's your jam. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs.
Awesome.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Okay, I'm gonna remember that. Listen, I hear on the Toby Mac. I love Toby Mac. Yes.
Oh.
Toby Mac is good as well. Hey, Theo. I listen to Erica Campbell in the morning on the way into work every day down here. So that is one thing I do enjoy. It's like they have a gospel radio station. So I hear all these different, I'm like, oh, I never heard that song before. I never heard that song before. And then they do kind of play it on a loop because I went to Memphis and I was like, oh, it's programmed. The shows are all programmed.
That's radio for you.
Darn it. I know. I was looking for some surprises. So we touched on last time. Were you born in Japan or you grew up in Japan?
Grew up, yeah.
Yes, you grew up in Japan and you transitioned. What's that?
I said I was born in North Dakota.
You were born. I mean, you have been in some of the oddest places for an African American woman. North Dakota, you were born in North Dakota. But, so what I was going to say, like, the Black diaspora is multifaceted. But people don't always, like, in America, we don't always look like that. We don't act like that. So when you came here, let's talk a little bit about that transition and kind of what you felt like being the odd duck out, moving from Japan to America.
Well, I didn't initially feel odd, but then people looked at me odd. You know, they were like, wait, you're not doing the things. It's just like, especially like the way I talk. They were like, oh, I remember all the time other kids used to tell me like, you talk white. And I was just like, that's impossible. I'm Black and I'm talking. So that used to be the thing I said. They'd just be looking at me like, he's weird. I'd be like, I'm literally talking to you and I'm Black, so it's impossible that I'm talking white. Like, I didn't get it at all. And there were cultural differences, but I will say this. It's the combination of being both a military person and raised overseas. So I had a lot of both shock. Like, I remember the first time I went to see a movie, I went to stand up for the national anthem, which they don't play here before a movie, which I think they should play, just because I just feel like if there's more patriotism, there will be more togetherness of America. You know, that's something a military-based thing. Like, everybody's there being American together.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so, but, you know, I won't press it. I've never written a letter to Congress.
No, let's not.
And then I never got called the N-word until I moved here. And I was like, I feel like the way you said, I never heard it. I feel like the way you said that, I'm offended.
Right. Like, I don't know what that is, but I don't like the way you said it. Like, there was something behind it.
Yeah, that sounds like I'm going to find out. And I'm going to come back later once I figure it out. But yeah, and then so that was just a thing, you know, because like when I was growing up in Japan, I know that they have their own color issues within the race, but being Black was being beautiful.
Right.
Like, I would out me on the street, like Japanese ladies, and just be like, oh my gosh, beauty, you know. And I'd just be like, oh yeah, thank you. You know, just used to it. They loved my hair, everything. You know, it was just like, wow, what a unique beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just,
it's just a shame that in a country that we built, you don't always feel appreciated or welcomed or loved. I can understand and relate. But let's talk a little bit about even just like relationships, female relationships and friendships, and developing those relationships. What kind of challenges did you face?
well, I mean, it's hard to pinpoint it because I was only going from my experience, so I don't know what experiences were. But first of all, just not having the 80s, I'll say. You know, like the 80s, the early 90s, like it wasn't really like, I feel like there was a lot going on for Black people in that time that I wasn't privy to as much. So they didn't have that to pull from. There was, like, I was pretty happy-go-lucky, like I'll say, considering the situation. So I'm going in, just imagine everybody's upset about something, and I'm just like, what's the problem? Oh, okay. Can we move past it? And it's just like, no. And as you can see, even today, we haven't quite moved past it. No. Like we have our moments, but then we have those really gut-wrenching times when it's just like, And I feel like I moved here a little bit around Rodney King. So that was, and I also didn't get the jokes because I now get the jokes. But like I remember like in Living Color and like, you know, stuff like that, they would be doing the jokes and I would be like, I don't know. So just having that, because women connect to how they connect, right? So it's like, I'm with you. If I can't connect to it, it's hard for me to connect with you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I have, and you know, just feeling like an outsider in just my mannerisms and the way that I was, feeling I got challenged a lot. But at the same time, I did make friends who were just like, this girl's weird, but she's super innocent. Like, we gotta watch out. We gotta watch her back. You know, we gotta just be, you know, flying around like a butterfly. We gotta make sure nobody tries to like light her on fire or something weird because she's rubbing people.
Not light you on fire. But you were in Kentucky, right?
Huh?
You were in Kentucky, right?
I was in Kentucky.
Yeah. They did have to look out for you, make sure you didn't get,
Or just like, oh, those people are not. I've always been naive like that, though. Even in Japan, like, I remember my mom would say hi to somebody, and I'll be like, oh, hi, I'm Victoria, blah, 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 blah. And then she'd be like, stop talking to that person. I'll be like, that's your friend, right? Like, no. Hi. And she's like, that's just polite. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know. So I had a lot of angels looking out for me over time.
Thank God.
And until today. Like and when I did move to Kentucky, I didn't live out in the sticks per se. Depends on where you're from. But I moved into the hood. And I remember like, oh my gosh, this glass on the ground is so beautiful. Like, wow. And they'd be like, you like the glass? Like, it's great. And they'd be like, what's wrong with her? So.
But you know what? That's good to have that like free spirit, that like love everything. Like that's a good thing. We need all different types of people in life, and I'm glad that you have stayed true to yourself throughout the years. That's another question though. How? You know, given everything that you do, being a wife, being a Christian rapper, being an actress, having been on television, worked, you know, behind the scenes, in front of the camera, how do you remain grounded and stay true to who Victoria is?
I have a very big family, a very, very big family. And they just really instilled some good foundations in me. And even when I moved out to California, like I know, like sometimes people move to a different place and they're like, yeah, nobody's gonna know. I was just like, no. I never wanted to do anything in life that I couldn't tell my mom about.
Oh, well, that's good.
Or I didn't want to like do something, die that way, then my mom has to find out I died doing something crazy. Like, that was a concern for me. I was just like, nah, I'm good on a lot of craziness. I don't need that. And then I talk to them a lot still, especially my older family. Like, I'm an old woman and I like my old women. So, like, my great aunts, my grandma, and now my aunts are getting older, so they're getting old enough to talk to me. Like, before they were too young, I was like, y'all don't get it yet, young bucks. But now they're getting older, so I can talk to them. And just always, and I have a lot of women in my family. Like, one thing that kept me innocent was I had a lot of big cousins, guys. Mm-hmm. But as far as like knowledge getting poured into me, women. But some of the knowledge maybe wasn't good, but some of it was. You know what I mean? It's just, but it was all looking there. And one thing that my family is really big on is they do love you, because they know like, if you don't feel loved, you'll go looking for love. And they're like, you don't need to ever go looking for love somewhere else. You're beautiful. We love you. We like, they really pour into you. Especially my dad's mom, she was like, nope. And this is where you can get your hugs. This is where you can get your kisses. You don't got to run to no guy. All this kind of stuff. Like, you are loved.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, having a big family, a supportive family like that. So that brings me to the next question. How do you navigate or balance this married life and this Hollywood life and this rapper life? Like, how do you balance it all? And still, like, you like are one of the like most genuinely happy people. Like, whenever I talk to you, like, you are always cheerful. And I know you have your days, I know you have your moments, but how, besides God, do you balance it all? And I know one thing that always sticks out of my head is, like, one day we were on a hike and you were talking about relationships and you're like, you just got to pick and choose your battles. And it's like, you said it so easily, and I was just like, let me shut up, because like I'm always ready. Like, what? But after you said that, I really started making a mental note of like, Victoria said to pick and choose my battles. Like, how did you get to that point?
That comes straight from my mom. Like, straight from my mom. Like, I'm surprised to hear you say that, because that's what my mom always is like. I used to be like, we're upset, we're gonna do something, and she'd be like, you gotta pick and choose your battles. And I'd be like, what? This is the one. Like, I was on fire. Yeah. No, because it's just like, and then about being mad at people, she would tell me like, you're mad at that person, they don't know you're mad at them, they're off living their life, having a great time. They are totally unaware. So you're the one who's suffering from your own anger. So that really was a big thing that she put in me too, because it's true. It's so true. You'll be like, oh, I'm fuming, blah, blah, blah. You look over at the other person, or even bump into it. They don't even remember what they did.
They've gone on with their lives. Yeah.
Past it, or just let it go.
That's good advice. Great advice. Victoria, what do you have in the works for 2022?
2022. Well, I did shoot a couple of episodes of a show this year, so hopefully it'll be out next year.
Okay.
And then I shot on a film called Wait,
can you say it?
Yeah, can I say it?
Let me be the good friend. Pause. Don't say it.
Anyway, it comes out, I think, next year.
Okay. There we go.
I'm like, wait a minute. He
said it.
There it is. Yeah, I was going to be like, Theo, I know you're watching. Can I say it?
Parodies. Gotcha.
Paradise. It's a horror.
Oh.
I had a little role, and it's my first film.
Ooh, a horror film. Interesting. That's awesome. That's like a whole nother conversation. I wish you had told me about this beforehand.
Well, we can talk about it again once I know the release date.
That is true. See, look at you. That's right. Can you talk about it again on the next time?
Yeah.
So before, like, this has been a great conversation. I'm so glad that you took time. I would be nosy and say, what are you doing out in Vegas? But I'll talk to you after the show. But I appreciate that you took the time to reshoot this episode.
My
Had
pleasure.
an amazing conversation the first time. This is even better. But before we leave, I want to know, like, what kind of advice, like, we just touched on it a little bit, but for the young woman that might be watching who feels like they're an outsider and it's not as easy going as you and just like happy-go-lucky, like, what kind of advice would you give her to get through these next few years of life?
Find your people. And it's so easier with the internet now. Like, just find people who are doing what you're doing and go be with those people. Eliminate the people who have a problem with what you're doing. Not necessarily the ones who aren't doing what you're doing, but the ones who have a problem with whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Go on ahead and slowly slide those people out and get the people who appreciate you and who want to do what you do, or at least watch you do what you do, or enjoy you doing what you do, or do it with you. Find those people.
Find your tribe. Find your tribe.
Right.
Well, I am so thankful that you are a part of my tribe, Victoria. And I can't wait to see you again when I'm back in LA. We will, we got to hit Runyon.
Well, we got a big, long hike that we plan.
We do have to. Oh, it's you know what? We will do it.
Yeah, we got to get a picnic basket.
We got to get our basket, go ahead and hike all the way down to the beach.
I'm excited about that hike.
I'm excited about it too. We got to make sure that...
because you run too fast.
No, I was just going to say, I have not been running the past couple of months. Like, I got to get back into it. Like, I've just been working, but I will not run. We will take a leisurely hike and, enjoy nature and the scenery and chat. But I want to say thank you again for joining me on this episode. Thank you guys for, popping in and watching this show. And I will see you guys here next week, same time, with another amazing woman, Victoria. Theoria is the name of the Christian rap group. Check them out on Spotify, Amazon, and
iTunes.
iTunes. Yes, that's the other one. iTunes. Check them out. Definitely a great Christian rap group. I love you and the way that you walk with Christ. Like, I love your example. Like, you are so out of the box, and I love it. But for the rest of you guys, embrace the journey. Victoria, I will talk to you later. Everybody have an amazing weekend.
Bye.
Bye.